everybody. I'm Chef Spencer. This is my wife, Emily. Hi. We are Silver Spork Events and Catering, and today we are going to share with you one of our favorite summer appetizers, a summer peach and cherry bruschetta. All right.
So we just came from the farmer's market in Roseville. It's a nice sunny Tuesday morning. So we picked up all of these delicious goodies that we're going to put into the bruschetta. We have our cherry tomatoes from Hillview Farms. We have our basil from Natural Trading Co. A little bit of mint from our own little herb garden. We have delicious peaches. These are the white peaches, and then we have a yellow peach from Twin Peaks. And then we also have our spring onion from Natural Trading Co.
All right, let's get started. One way to cut these cherry tomatoes pretty quick if you're doing them last minute or you want to do a bunch is using the tops of, I like to use deli lids, but you can use Tupperware lids as well, but you just...
So really anything with an edge so that they don't slip out, and then the same size is great too, so that they just fit nicely in there.
Let's just fit these in like this.
There you go. These tomatoes are getting so delicious.
Yeah. We'll save this long one to cut by hand. Yeah, these are beautiful.
Cool. And then starting out, you're going to want a ceramic or a glass bowl. You don't want to use a metal bowl for this because the acidity in the tomato can kind of react with the metal in the bowl. So your tomatoes can, especially when they're marinating in there for a while, they can end up tasting a little metallic if you use a metal bowl. Yeah. So glass or ceramic is best.
And once you have the tomatoes in there, we're just gonna use a serrated knife. This is a sharp edge, so it won't bruise the tomatoes, and it'll be an easy slice.
And the serrated knife is better just so it cuts through that delicate skin without pushing too hard. So
we're just gonna move these over to the side. Yeah. We have an event coming up, and it's for a good amount of people, so this is gonna save us probably like 10 minutes. So this is definitely the way you do it in a restaurant. Pretty easy. And then you just take these.
Yeah, just dump them right in your bowl.
Dump them right in.
And perfectly cut.
Do you want to try to cut one?
Sure.
All right, there you go. Beautiful tomatoes.
In there.
Yeah, you could fit all those in there.
Almost. Puzzle them in there, and then it's the ridge this way and then that way. Push slightly on the top and get in there with your knife.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
All right.
And then dump them in. So that's all your tomatoes. And a nice little time-saving hack.
Sweet. And we have this little one that's a little longer, so I'm just going to cut it like that,
Oh yeah, any of your bigger ones. You want to cut this one in half too? That one's a little big.
Oh yeah, why not?
A little chunky.
And then...
Perfect. So tomatoes are done.
Now we're going to move on to the spring onions, and you can save the tops of these and saute them with some greens. Yeah, so we'll put these over to the side.
Yeah, we like to reuse and kind of repurpose as much as we can so that nothing goes to waste, and they're really delicious.
So you can use a mandolin or just this, but I like to leave the root on the onion so it holds everything together. So it's just a little easier to slice.
And you can do spring onions, you could do a red onion. This is what was fresh and available at the market this morning, so that's what we went with. But we've also gotten some really great red onions and yellow onions from the market as well.
Yeah, these are very fresh. So I'm going to put these in my little compost pile. Add these to the onion pile. And if you don't want to use onion, you don't have to, but I think it adds a nice contrast of flavor to the bruschetta. Make sure you have a nice sharp knife. It just makes cutting a lot safer and easier. Sweet. Put those in our compost pile. Be careful.
Perfect.
Let's get all these onions. And we'll move on to some garlic. And we got this garlic from Natural Trading Co.
Yep, they have really great garlic right now.
So I'll just do a nice little...
Yep, so he's already peeled these and got them ready.
Just save those. Again, a nice sharp knife makes everything much easier. Ooh, I could feel those onions.
Oh, you're crying?
A little bit.
Oh no.
A little bit. And then we'll just go over just a nice rough chop.
And do you like cutting the garlic better than using a garlic mincer?
You can do either or. The only reason I'm not using a garlic mincer is because I don't have one, but it would be nice to have one. So maybe we should get one. All right, next.
Either way.
Either way.
And then move on to the peaches.
Move on to the peaches next. And since these are cling peaches, in a few weeks we're gonna have freestone, so it'll be a lot easier to like split in half, take the stone out. But since these are cling, I just like to cut around. I'll just do that.
Yeah, the earlier in the season peaches are usually a cling peach, so that just means that it's not a freestone. The pit isn't gonna pop right out. You just have to do a little bit more prep work to get the stone out
But
of
it's
there.
pretty easy. From the seam right here, you just cut straight down and then flip it 180. And then the pit's gonna be in the center. You can see it, but you can kind of curve around the pit. And then I'll save this as well for compost, or if you want to make a jam, you can put it into a saute pan.
Or just eat it.
Or just eat it, yeah.
That's delicious too.
But yeah, these are beautiful. So these are white peaches and sun gold peaches. I think sun gold, that's what it was.
I think so. They have a different delicious variety of peach almost every week. They have so many different peaches from Twin Peaks.
Then I'll get all these lined up. And then I'll just cut these like a nice small dice. And these are semi-firm, semi-soft, so they're pretty easy to cut. If they're a little too ripe, they're gonna get a little mushy. So I like to use a little bit of a firmer peach for this dish.
Yeah, you'll lose a lot of the flavor with the juice coming out since the juice doesn't go onto the crostini. You can always use that liquid for something else. Like sometimes we'll strain it out and use it as a vinaigrette or something like that. But it is great to use the soft or the firmer peaches just so you keep a lot of that flavor that would come out.
And I love cutting all the peaches one way and just keep cutting them in like a uniform line. So it's kind of an assembly line. So it just goes a little quicker and more organized.
Good tip.
Here, why don't you try one of those?
No, I was just saying, it's making me hungry. Oh, good. Yum.
Yeah, these are beautiful.
I think peach season is my favorite season. Nectarines are so good too.
Yeah, you could add nectarines in here.
With this too.
And peaches and tomatoes together, they add a nice contrast of flavor, as well as basil and mint. And if you add all those together, it's just beautiful.
Combination.
All right.
Cool. So done with the peaches.
Done with the peaches. So let's just get these in carefully. Add these all to the
And this
dish.
recipe that we're working on is going to make we did 2 baskets of tomatoes and then 3 peaches. So this is going to make about, the baguette that we have, you cut it usually into like 20 to 25 pieces depending on the size of the baguette. So it'll make about 20 to 25 crostini.
Just going to clean my board a little bit. Sorry.
And then if you have any extra that don't fit on your crostini, then you could put it on top of a salad, or what else would you do with it? Like we said, like use the liquid for a vinaigrette.
I usually put this on like fish. If I have halibut or salmon, whatever's in season, this is really nice. It's also nice to add to fish to make like a ceviche or something.
Oh, you could use the liquid as a marinade. That'd be so good.
And then we have some...
Yeah, we added chives just because we had them growing in our garden. So goes really nicely with the onion and the garlic, but it's just kind of an add-on if you have it available or if you want to add it.
It's just nice to have the green contrast in all these dishes. And the chives add a nice little flavor profile. So we're just gonna cut these guys.
Yum.
Those onions are so strong. Love it.
Still getting you?
A little bit. We'll save that for compost or...
Perfect.
So we're gonna add some chives in here. And we're almost set.
So then we just need to add our salt, pepper.
Bring the board a little bit.
Balsamic.
Actually, we're gonna go on to, I just like taking, I'm just gonna move the basil right over here. I like taking the basil and just kind of tearing it and putting it in there. And I have some mint as well. So this is a very just rustic dish. You could just throw it in.
And then you can put a little more once you put them on the crostini. You can kind of garnish the top with some extra
Add a little mint.
basil and mint. Delicious.
Yes. You can add a lot or a little. I usually add about like 6 to 8 leaves of basil and then like 4 to 6 of mint. But you can add as much as you want, or as little as you want. And we'll add this over here.
Right behind us.
And then onto the little pepper, I just add a few pinches. Just a little crack. Fresh ground pepper.
About a teaspoon if you really want to measure it out. But really just to taste.
This is some Himalayan pink sea salt, so we'll do a little bit of that.
A little, you can use kosher salt also. We use that a lot, but about a teaspoon of that as well.
Do a little bit of oil. This is extra virgin olive oil. This is gonna make a nice little marinade and liquid. Oh, I forgot. If you want to, you can add a pinch of chili flakes. This just spices it up a little bit. Because why not? Do one more.
And that's just to taste as well. To add a little extra if you want a little extra heat, or don't put it in at all.
A little balsamic. You can add white balsamic as well. See if this thing opens. Yeah, it's open.
There you go.
Just a little bit, just a splash.
Yeah, like 1 to 2 tablespoons.
Yep. Clean this board up a little bit.
Cool. And then that's everything, right?
That's everything.
Put some
now
plastic wrap on top.
We're gonna mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
But look at the colors. It's just, I love this. On a hot summer day by the pool, this is perfect.
Yeah. Oops. Lost one.
Yes. So we're just gonna
and then
let
you're gonna get more liquid as it marinates. You'll get more liquid that will end up at the bottom of the bowl.
Yeah, we're just gonna let this bloom a little bit. That's perfect. Let the flavors bloom.
Set that aside.
Set this aside. Set these over here. Clean my cutting board a little bit. And then we'll go on to cutting the baguette.
So we have our oven already preheated to 350 degrees. We have this delicious sourdough baguette from Baker and the Cake Maker. Get that guy out. We love their bread. We use it for all of our events.
So on a bias, we're just gonna cut this about 1/2 inch on a bias. I'm only gonna cut half of this baguette because I don't think we need to eat 22
Probably
crostinis,
not, just
just
for the
us.
two of us. We probably could, but we probably don't need to. So he's cutting it at an angle that way just so there's more surface area for the bruschetta to go onto.
Good. I'll hand that to you.
All right.
And then
we get our sheet tray ready.
yeah, you can just put that right there.
And like I said, a typical baguette, you can cut into 20 to 25 pieces usually, just depending on the size.
There you go. I'll give that to you.
Yeah, thanks.
And we'll do a little oil over it, over the top. Just a little drizzle.
That just helps crisp it up, gives it a little extra flavor.
There's that flavor. And I'm gonna do a little salt, and then a little pepper as well.
Yeah.
And since I like a little spice, I'm gonna add a little bit of chili flake as well. Just a little bit on top. Do a little more.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll bake this off
Move these
for
around.
at 350 for about 6 to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can go a little longer
Into
if
the
you'd
oven.
like to get crispier, but all right.
And then we just let this go and marinate. And we've got our
You got our
bread
bread
in the
working?
oven, so we have a little downtime.
Yeah, all right. It's been about 7 minutes now. Let's take a look. We just want a nice little light toast. These look perfect. All right, we're gonna move these over to our cutting board.
Perfect.
Put these right here. All right. And then we can get rid of top of this and we'll season it, or we'll taste it and see how it tastes.
Give it a nice little stir.
Here, let's get a little tomato in there. Here you are.
Yeah, thank you.
How are those?
Perfect.
Perfect. All right. Now let's just move all of our bread over here, and then we can begin to plate.
Try to get a little bit of everything on each toast, so you get the whole, all the flavors together.
Yeah.
So good.
And I'll usually like plating right on the sheet tray, and then you can transfer it over to your serving platter, just so if anything falls off, then you can just put it right back on. Yeah.
Keeps things a little more neat and tidy.
Like I said before, this is delicious on top of fish. Or on its own.
Yeah, over some greens, if you don't want to do bread, or if you just have leftovers the next day, if you made too much for your toast. And then definitely don't throw away the liquid, because you can use it as a vinaigrette or as a marinade.
Yeah,
Make some ceviche.
yes. There you go, right there. And a little of the liquid that soaks up on the crisped bread is just perfect.
Yum.
All right. Finish these guys off.
And again, we didn't use all of the toast, so if you used your whole baguette, you would have more like 20 to 25 pieces, depending on how thick you cut them.
All right. And then we're
Perfect
gonna
for a
go ahead
crowd.
And we can move this guy over here, and I'm just gonna
This little serving board.
put these over here like this.
And then we can pick some basil and mint to put on the top to garnish. And just like we did in the main marinade, we're just gonna tear it, so it's just kind of a rough tear.
Okay, you could just start putting those on top. We'll have one right here.
Some nice fresh basil. It's a little much. Sorry.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Here's a good one. A little bit of basil flour on top.
Great. Just sprinkle the rest, and there you go. That is your perfect summertime appetizer. It's a peach and cherry tomato bruschetta. And thanks again to Placer Grown for making these videos possible. We are Silver Spork Events and Catering. We're based here in Placer County. If you want to learn more about us, you can find us at our website, silversporkevents.com. On Instagram, we post a lot, so we're there, Silver Spork Events. We're on Facebook too. You can find us, Silver Spork Events and Catering on Facebook. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.